soon as Ned gives his approval.
Okay, I'm gonna.
That can't be that.
Well, we might as well start up. I don't think anybody else is gonna be here.
No. Go ahead and rock and roll.
Just the usual.
The usual riff draft.
That's all right. The weather's too nice.
Yeah, I don't blame
Yeah.
them. First fly I'm gonna tie is a Royal Wulff. That's kind of a knockoff on the Royal Coachman, designed by Lee Wulff. And the tail is made of moose body hair. And if you ever work with this stuff, it's got these little curly hairs in there that are almost impossible to get out. If you can get them out, it stacks a lot easier and looks a lot better. I always find them after I've tied the fly in the tail too.
Professor, what kind of hair was that again?
It's moose body hair.
Body.
Oh, shit, I can't.
My dogs like that when I do that. They run to the door. Let's see. Too much.
Yeah, that's really good.
Let's try again.
I'm not flirting. I'm just trying to.
You got kind of bad spot there.
Hey, how are you?
I can change the angle.
There we go. Yep, perfect. I like to mark where I'm going to put the wing on this fly with my thread. And I have a tendency to make it a little short. Proportions is the hardest part on this fly. I think that's about the 1/3 mark. That's too much. I'm going to go shorter. Yeah. I've been fishing, so I haven't been tying enough of these to really have it down. So bear with me a little bit today. Like thread to land about at the hook barb.
I know. I made him at the trash can.
Oh, did you?
The tail on this, I like it to be about 3/4 the length of the shank. So I measure it and change hands, pinch grip. Tie it in and then take a look. I think that's good. Kind of hard to see over my hand, isn't it, Paul?
We can see it on TV. Well, there's a glare on the TV. If somebody's stand, right?
Maybe we get the UPS truck to park there for a half hour.
It's glare.
Yeah.
Not too bad for an LCD.
Tidy up while you can. All right. Bring the thread forward, kind of lash it all down. Okay, the next will be the wing. And this has a hair wing on it. I make some of them out of calf tail. Ned says I was using the wrong material. He told me to get some calf body hair.
On the smaller flies.
And so this is size 14. I could go either way, couldn't I?
Yeah. But as you get used to this, I think you'll find it's easier. You can,
Oh,
and you can stack it,
Yeah.
where the other stuff's pretty tough.
This is it's a Renzetti hair stacker that I got here probably 25 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
The new ones have a little piece of foam on the bottom, and so they don't bang as well, so I don't think it stacks as well. There's one clump. That's about what one wing would be. So I'll grab another clump. Now when you're buying calf body hair, look for the thick, full stuff. If it doesn't have a bunch of hairs per square inch on it, it's not as good to work with, because you need to have a lot of hair. And I have some other ones that I bought of calf body hair that are really thin, and this one's kind of thick. It's a good one. Okay, put that in there.
Hi, Jonathan.
Okay. Now to kind of get them bundled up a little bit more, I go from the big one to the little one, and then it's easier to put it on. And I also change hands like this, so that the tips of the fibers are going in the right direction. Now this should be about the length of the shank. So you measure it and tie it in. Nope, I moved it. Dang it. Try again.
Maybe you pound so hard you beat that ridge on the inside down. No, not a possibility.
Whatever.
Oh, I should shut up. This is recording.
Yeah, this is recording for posterity.
I'm going to move to the back. Hey.
It's not cooperating, but I can make it work. Okay, then I take and pull that wing up and put a little wedge underneath it to get things to stand up. Okay. And this is what I like to do. I like to take it, and I've got a rotary vise. I like to use my rotary tool on my vise and help me. So I'm going to try and divide these wings. If they're not even, I can always redo it. Okay, little figure 8. Go down.
What size thread is that?
6/0. Okay. Now, if you've ever done a parachute fly, you know you gotta do some parachute stuff. Okay, I'm gonna clean some stuff, get it out of the way. I cut this kind of at an angle so it marries up with the tail fibers too, so you don't get a big lump in there. At least I try and do that. Sometimes the calf tail is so slick it moves on you, but it should be okay. It's not standing up. I'll put that wedge in there again and come back this way. That's That's a lot of thread. It's getting there. There we go. I think I'm about there now. One more around here. Okay, there's quite a few errant hairs around, so I'm going to cut those out. Just to clean it up a little bit. I think all the other ones are going to work fine. Yep. Okay. Okay. I'm going to start working on the body. The body has peacock and then some floss. Sometimes I will use holographic pencil instead of the floss. I've also seen a video where a guy uses just red thread, and that's a real simple and quick way to do it. Yeah, that's going to be fine. Normally, when I use peacock, I will have a damp paper towel, and I'll lay the peacock herl on it, and then kind of close it off. And what it does is it keeps the fibers of the peacock a lot more supple, so it's easier, so it doesn't break on you. I've been fishing, so before I start messing with the floss, I like to sand my fingers a little bit because it'll catch on your fingers and starts separating. Yep. So if you catch enough bass, you kind of get that sandpaper thumb, and it doesn't mix with this floss stuff. This is another thing I don't like about it. And you notice where my thread is? I'm moving the thread that way with the floss, so it helps kind of keep the floss in position as I'm doing this. Another reason why, the one thing I like about the floss that I can't really do with the tinsel is to do a little build up here to kind of cover up any mistakes. Okay, that looks pretty good. Do a little more, and I can cover it up with the peacock. I don't think these are my best wings. I like the calf tail a lot because I make them a little longer, And they stand up real pretty, and they're all curly and not straight like that. Cut the tips off because they're real brittle. I'm doing the same thing with the thread with the peacock here, and have the thread kind of holds everything back, and I'm using two pieces. They help to prevent them from separating. Keep tension on the thread so that you can do it a little easier. Final piece of the puzzle is some hackle, dull side down. Ned, how many of these have you tied?
It's so long ago, I can't remember. Used to tie really, really big, like 8s for your white bass on Clinton. And then I'd use a black wing so I could see it at night. That doesn't make sense, but if there's a little bit of ambient light, you can see the dark rather than the white.
Those little size, those little hexagenous, kind of in a cinnamon color, have been coming off. And I've watched them hatch right there on the surface where you see this, looks like a seed pod in the water. Next thing you know, wings come out of it.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
You want it this year?
Yeah, just yesterday.
Really?
No, these are smaller ones than those great big brown ones.
Pretty good. You a tip?
I don't think the really big hexagenous don't come.
When I pulled up, I didn't see your van. I said, "Where's Paul Taylor?" He has to be there. Hey, Larry.
Okay. I like to do this just because I don't want everything to come undone. I throw a half-inch, dog it. I lost a turn.
Oh, okay, thank you. I was in the process of doing that, but you got the stuff. Yep.
Yeah, let's do it. I want to throw another turn in here.
Must be some intense tying going on. That's a really quiet group.
Yeah.
Yeah, be gentle so you don't just carbon fibers.
Maybe clean it up a little bit here.
Coachman?
No, kind of, but close.
Yeah.
It's not a wet fly.
Very nice. Huh? You have hidden talents.
Not for long.
Not for long.
This is going to go viral.
It's going to be famous.
All right. There we go.
Nicely done, Greg.
Well, the other one I did at home is a lot easier with a little more light.